Hi, hello from New York, everybody.
Hi.
What a week.
Wow. Yeah, you did a tribute to Eric Boehlert as we did yesterday, but it's and you and I have talked, for so many years about loss. You've been through it with your parents, and it's just, I mean, and again, we get to a certain age in life, and like I'm standing at the veterinary hospital, and my brother's caught, and I'm like, oh God, it's my mom. You know what I mean? It's just that we've all been
Yeah,
through this period of our
yeah.
lives where it's just feels like loss after loss after loss. And so I know you had Eric on all the time too, and it's hard to explain it, right? It's just it's and for me when you're processing a pet death, which is like my child, since I don't have real I'm a what's the word, Chris? Loser.
Loser.
And I don't have
And you don't have
real children
children.
like you,
Yeah.
John. But and then Eric, it's just all at once. It's you've almost unfortunately, John, become an expert in loss. Like I remember saying that to you, like, oh my God, you're Job. You went through so much of it at
Well,
once.
no, no.
How did
I mean,
you?
we're all called to be Job at different times. But my mom was a geriatric nurse,
Yeah,
so when I was growing up, our house was sort of like the home hospice.
yeah.
And when people were dying, they came to live with us, and I got to watch my mom help a lot of people transition over. And I was very blessed that I got to be with my grandfather, with my aunt, with my dad, with my mom at that moment. And I mean, the love doesn't end. I still love Eric in the present tense. I still admire him in the present tense.
Yeah.
On our show Wednesday night, it was a rough day. I woke up because I got a text telling me that I finally tested positive for after three negative tests.
Ugh.
Wednesday was the 1 year anniversary of the loss of Midwin Charles,
Yes.
which I still haven't come to terms with. And then hearing about your beautiful dog, who I'm so glad, Steph, that I was in California last month and got to be mauled by Jamie one last time trying to do your show.
If
Um,
only we knew it was the last time she would maul you. I would
I
have
know I still
encouraged
haven't
her
gotten
further.
saliva. I haven't gotten the saliva stains out of my jeans yet. So it was really, I really felt it, and there was no way I was going to take the night off. Here's the great thing. Rush Limbaugh died a year ago too, and no one talked about it. No one honored the anniversary of his passing because he left nothing behind of any value. Rush Limbaugh didn't give the world anything that lasted beyond his own hate. He gave people a temporary dopamine release of hate towards the people they already hated. Eric has left behind so much work in print. And I'm telling you guys, it's too late to subscribe to Press Run. And every time he did the show, I made a point of bending over backwards and telling everyone, you must subscribe because to begin your day 3 times a week with Eric's prose and his passion, because he was always so concise. You can still read all of his columns. You can Google Eric Boehlert plus any issue,
Yeah.
and he will cut through all the nonsense because the media is part of the problem. The court, not journalists. I love journalists, but the media is part of the problem.
Yeah.
And the brilliance of Eric is that he cut through the gaslighting. We've come to view gaslighting as just lying. It's not. Gaslighting is when someone tries to make you doubt your own reason, when someone tries to make you think maybe I'm wrong about everything and I'm crazy. And that's why Eric was so important, because whenever I doubted myself, I could go to get Eric's take on any issue, and he would have the facts and the passion and the language to remind you which way was north consistently. And he still
That's what I
does
tweet.
it. He can still do it for all of
He
us.
tweet. That's what I tweeted. He was my North Star. He not just the
Yeah.
fact. I mean, like just he was like a LexisNexis, like old
Yeah.
stories proving hypocrisy and stats, and it was like just a giant Rolodex in his head, and it just there's no one like him. And the word I keep saying yesterday, John, that I saw over and over again is irreplaceable. That no one
Yeah.
does exactly what Eric does.
No one does what he did.
and
No one
it's
does what he did.
yeah, and it's
Yeah.
and I gotta say, honey, for you, showing up for Eric when you just found out you had, and I know you don't feel well. We were just talking about it. You're here for us. Um, I just heard Frangela's will be here because they just landed, so they're going to be here for us at the bottom of the hour here. Because we're family, John, and we're it's what someone said. Like Dana texted me. She's like, "You can take. We got it yesterday." And I'm like,
Yeah.
"No, no, 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 no. There's been a death in the family. We have to
Yeah.
do this because that's like you've been through it your whole life, John. How do you just have to be there for each other?"
We all go through it, and it's
Yeah.
like we got to be there for the people who are still here, and it's shutting down your own. I mean, take time. It's like the news is so bleak. We have to take breaks from it and lick our wounds. We have to experience joy still. You guys, it's so easy. They want us to despair. They want us to give
Yeah.
up. The fascists want us to just conk out on the couch and watch Kardashians and not vote.
Yes.
And, it's important to unplug and go and read fiction and go to a museum or see a film, have sex, dance, paint, clean up your house, do something
Oh,
good for
I've
your
gone through
brain,
that
and then
checklist
get
this
back in the
week.
game. What's that?
I've gone through that checklist this week, but let's not talk about
Okay,
that now.
good. Well, I want to say, we've just begun taking my SiriusXM show, and it's now a daily podcast. You get a 35-minute version every day
Oh,
of
yay.
last night's show, and we just had Ken Burns on, and we're going to have on Richard Linklater tonight. But we're gonna on the live show tonight air our last appearance with Eric on the show. But what I did on the show Wednesday night, and it's in yesterday's podcast, I did this tribute to him. But honestly, I just said I just want to. It's one thing for me to say what Eric did, but I decided to read his final column, which was published on Monday, the day he died.
I know.
He died Monday night.
I know.
And it was all about how the press is trying so hard to minimize the economic achievements of the
Why
Biden
are they
administration.
rooting against Joe Biden? I quoted from it on Monday.
Everyone needs to read it and share it, and remember that when you're doubting yourself, when you're doubting the causes you fight for, you can go back to Eric's stuff. It's all online. It's there for us forever. It's a library of morality and wisdom that we can draw upon for strength. He's still with us, guys.
And Travis and Chris, what? Tell me again. What did we just put up? Sorry.
On the Political Voices Network, our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
They just posted a playlist of a bunch of your interviews with Eric.
That's great.
Over the last couple of years.
Okay.
So search for Political Voices Network on YouTube.
Yeah.
And Joy, I want to tell Joy-Ann Reid just shared this picture I took a few years ago. One morning.
I saw it.
after the show.
I love it. Yeah.
With Eric and Dean's there too. And I swear to God, it's worth saying just because Eric looks like an angel in the picture.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
backlit.
I saw it.
He looks angelic in it. Because he was ferocious and he was really brilliant and smart and impeccably neat. He made me feel comfortable being a skinny guy wearing tailored suits. But I'll tell you something. What you might not capture was his sweetness. And I don't know if his interviews ever conveyed the kindness in his heart and the warmth in his gaze that he gave to everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't realize that he was as tall as you. He's
very tall. Yeah. Very, very tall.
Handsome.
And just
Handsome and tall. That's how I like him.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
And he wore I just want to say, because I don't know if you always saw, he wore fitted suits.
Oh, yeah.
He wore tailored suits.
God, so so handsome. Yeah.
He didn't try to hide that he was lean. He was really, really fit, really, really tall. He made me feel much more comfortable about my gangly appearance.
Well, and John, Bob Seska and I talked about it. I know you talked about it with Bob. I think, obviously reading all the Jersey coverage of that he was so known for, that people saw him running and bicycling every evening practically. And the fact that he died in a bike accident, when I know all of us are cyclists, is particularly close to home.